Siberian Robinson, how a Soviet deserter hid in the taiga from the war for 10 years. In the 1950s, the story of Tarzan and Jane was repeated in a grotesque form in the taiga near Novosibirsk. The girl who wandered into the forest was taken away by a bearded stranger who had lived for many years in isolation from civilization. The kidnapper turned out to be a deserter who escaped from the Red Army during the Great Patriotic War. Life in the taiga about the events that took place half a century ago in the north of the Novosibirsk region, local residents still tell legends. A Siberian, Mark Gursky, who did not want to die from a fascist bullet, deserted from the army in 1943. According to another version, he initially hid from the draft. The young man reached Abinsky district, where the village of the Epiphany he had relatives by the name Krasakova. The deserter kept in touch with them, but lived separately, in the taiga in the upper reaches of the Tartus River. He built in the forest a few hidden huts dug and dug. I caught fish, got poultry, animals, and prepared mushrooms, berries, and nuts for the future. In the spring, I collected bird eggs, of which there are so many at the Ryamo lakes. He was a skillful craftsman, and had a heroic strength. In a duel with the club-footed owner of the taiga, Tarzan, armed with one knife, certainly came out victorious. Local journalist Yevgeny Dobrokotov wrote in 1991 from the words of old-timer Nikolai Vdovin. Mark Gursky's land stretches for tens of kilometers in the northern and Kubyshev districts. The inhabitant of the taiga periodically moved between his dugouts. When food ran out in the vicinity of his home, Gursky moved to another plot. After plowing suitable patches of land, the deserter started vegetable gardens where he planted potatoes. Strong health allowed a man to survive in the taiga. He got sick only once, when he did nothing for several days, holed up in a dugout. A serious help in the economy of Gursky was the equipment from the plane that fell in the taiga. Perhaps we are talking about the American Aerocobra, which was supplied to the USSR under Lend-Lease. Using an aerial flamethrower instead of a rifle, Tarzan hunted elk and bears. He also needed a dynamo, with which the man lit up one of the huts. In order not to be detected by search engines from the air, Gursky disguised the fallen plane with moss. The voice of the flesh, no matter how strong the deserter's fear of the authorities was, sometimes he still visited the village, where he exchanged the meat he had obtained for the necessary things and products. However, Gursky obviously did not have time to establish contacts with women during these outings. Meanwhile, his natural needs grew stronger over the years. The taiga hunter did not suffer from hunger, and the body demanded its own. Therefore, having once met a girl on a forest road who had gone to the taiga for mushrooms, Gursky forcibly took her to him and made her a cohabitant. The road to the dugout took several days. The deserter led his captive only at night, so that she would not remember the way. According to one version, the kidnapped woman still escaped from Gursky. On the other hand, the deserter himself let the pregnant girl go to the village to give birth there, because he understood that he would not be able to accept the child and raise it in the taiga. The police became interested in the villager who returned from the forest. The fact is that one of the local guys has already been jailed for her alleged murder. Having found out from the resurrected girl where the kidnapper's dugout is located, the guards equipped an expedition to catch the taiga resident and eventually brought him to the village of Foxminks. When Tarzan was brought to the village, the people were very surprised. He is red-haired, has long hair on his head and beard, and is dressed in animal skins, a pure Robinson, Nikolai Vdovin said. Rumors about the future of Mark Gursky differ greatly. Some said that he had served his time, while others said that the case of desertion had not been initiated after the expiration of the statute of limitations. Marveling at the man's ability to survive in the taiga, the villagers asked him to become a foreman of hunters. Gursky agreed, but not for long. After a while, he left for the Krasnoyarsk territory, where he again settled in the taiga, no longer hiding from people. Whether he took the girl and the child with him is unknown. Timur Sagiev.